A $200,000 home no longer gets you far in most of Europe. But in 7 countries, it can still open the door to legal residency. Not automatically. That is the trap. The property is not the approval. It is the legal basis to apply. You still need documents, insurance, funds, background checks, valuations, and in some cases, real time on the ground. But the opportunity is real. One country has no official minimum property price. One can potentially lead to permanent residence after only 3 qualifying years. And one beautiful European option comes with a hidden catch. You can keep renewing for years and still move no closer to permanent status. Starting with that trap. Number 7. Montenegro. Montenegro looks like the perfect property residency country at first glance. Adriatic coastline, mountain scenery, stone towns, lower prices than Croatia, a growing tourism market, and a lifestyle that feels very close to Southern Europe without quite paying Southern Europe prices. But Montenegro belongs at number 7 because the property route is not as generous as many people think. Recent rule changes raise the bar for property-based temporary residence. For many third country applicants, the property now needs to meet a significant official taxable value, not just whatever price appears on a listing. That matters because a cheap apartment or rural house may look affordable online but still fail the valuation test. And even if the property qualifies, the bigger issue is long-term status. Montenegro's property-based permit is normally temporary and renewable. That sounds fine until the catch lands. Time spent on this route may not move you toward permanent residence. So someone could own property, renew again and again, and still be building a seasonal base rather than a true permanent future. That does not make Montenegro bad. It just makes it specific. It is best for someone who wants a beautiful European base, legal time in the country, and a lifestyle foothold near the Adriatic. But if the goal is permanent residence, Montenegro needs a separate long-term strategy. That is the first rule of this video. A residence permit is not enough. The real question is whether the years actually count. And the next country has a clearer property threshold, but a very different catch. Number 6. Türkiye. Türkiye is one of the most powerful property markets on this list. At around a $200,000 property budget, the residence story becomes serious. A qualifying residential purchase can support a short-term residence permit, but the property must be in an area open to foreign residence registration. That detail matters. Not every district is open. Some areas, especially in major cities, have faced restrictions because of foreign resident density. So the wrong property in the wrong location can ruin what looks like a clean plan. Türkiye offers a huge lifestyle upside. Istanbul gives you one of the world's great cities. The Mediterranean coast gives you beach towns, marinas, cafes, and warmer weather living. Healthcare is strong in major cities, airports are excellent, and the cost of living can still feel attractive for people earning in foreign currency. But this route is not citizenship. Türkiye does have a higher property route that can support citizenship, but the $200,000 level is a residence play, not a passport play. It also does not automatically give work rights. If someone wants to live off foreign income, retire, or use Türkiye as a lifestyle base, it can work well. If they want to earn locally, they need separate permission. Türkiye is the powerful but precise option. Good property, strong lifestyle, big upside, but only if the location and legal basis are right. And this is where the list gets interesting, because the next countries are not just about buying a nice home. They are about whether a property purchase creates time, leverage, or a genuine path to something more permanent. Number 5. Georgia. Georgia is the country people discover when they start looking for Plan B options near Europe. It is affordable. It is business-friendly. Tbilisi has become a major expat and digital nomad hub, and many passport holders can spend a long period in the country before even needing to think about formal residence. But the property residency route itself has become more serious. Georgia's short-term residence permit through real estate generally requires qualifying non-agricultural property above a much higher value than the bargain rural plots people see online. So Georgia is not a buy cheap land and get residency shortcut. A small countryside plot may be useful as a lifestyle base or long-term bet, but it will not automatically unlock a residence permit. That is the trap. Georgia is best understood as a test-first country. You can arrive, rent, explore Tbilisi, Batumi, Kutaisi, the wine regions, the mountain towns, and speak to lawyers before buying anything. Then, if Georgia fits, property can become part of the longer plan. The big advantage is flexibility, low living costs, strong food culture, simple daily life, a tax system that can be attractive for some foreign earners, and a location that sits between Europe, Asia, and the Caucasus. The catch is work rights and structure. Owning property and living legally are not the same as having permission to work locally or run everything exactly as you would back home. For scouting trips like Georgia or Türkiye, Sali eSIM is useful for landing with mobile data already working instead of hunting for a local SIM card after the flight. Link below. Georgia gives you time before commitment. The next country gives you one of the cheapest property thresholds in Europe, but only if you fit through a narrow eligibility gate. Number 4. North Macedonia. North Macedonia is where the budget side of this list gets genuinely interesting. Compared with most of Europe, the property numbers can look almost unbelievable. A qualifying residential property worth around 40,000 euros may support temporary residence for eligible applicants. That is far below the typical six-figure thresholds people associate with property-based residence. But there is a major condition. This route is not open to everyone in the same way. It is aimed at foreign residents of European Union, or OECD member countries, who acquire qualifying residential property in North Macedonia. That means the buyer's existing resident status matters before the property even enters the conversation. For those who qualify, the value proposition is strong. Skopje remains affordable. Smaller cities and towns are cheaper again. The country has mountains, lakes, Ottoman and Balkan character, and a cost of living that can still feel low by European standards. But the real reason North Macedonia sits above Georgia and Turkey is the longer-term angle. After years of continuous legal residence, permanent residence may become possible. That gives the route a destination, not just renewals, not just a base, a potential path. The catch is bureaucracy. Applications need careful documents, local advice, proof of eligibility, and a real willingness to spend time in the country. This is not a paper residency shortcut. North Macedonia is the budget Europe route for people who qualify. But the next country removes one of the biggest barriers completely: a minimum property price. Number 3. Albania. Albania may be the most flexible property residency story in Europe right now. The reason is simple. Albanian law allows foreign owners of immovable property to apply for a residence permit, and the law does not publish a clear minimum property price in the way many other countries do. That is rare. Most countries set a threshold to filter applicants. Albania's property route is more flexible, which means the buyer is not forced into a specific price bracket just to satisfy the immigration rule. That can make a major difference. Instead of buying the property that meets the government number, the buyer can focus on what actually makes sense: location, title quality, rental potential, lifestyle, and resale value. Albania also has the emotional upside. The Riviera is getting international attention. Tirana is changing quickly. Food is excellent. The landscapes are dramatic. And the country still feels early compared with Croatia, Greece, or Montenegro. But Albania is also where people can make expensive mistakes. No minimum price does not mean no rules. The property still needs clean ownership. The application still needs proper documents. The permit is temporary and renewable, not a guaranteed road to citizenship. Work rights and permanent residence are separate questions. A cheap apartment with messy title history is not an opportunity. It is a problem with a balcony. That is why Albania ranks high, but not first. It gives flexibility. It gives affordability. It gives a Mediterranean lifestyle at a price many people thought had disappeared. But the buyer has to be careful. For scouting trips across places like Albania, North Macedonia, and Montenegro, Expedia and Kiwi can help compare short stays and routes before committing to one location. Links are below. Albania is the flexible, low-entry option. The next country is less famous, but it may offer one of the clearest property-to-residence structures on this entire list. Number 2. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan almost never appears in mainstream relocation videos, and that is exactly why it is interesting. This is not the obvious expat choice. It is not Portugal. It is not Spain. It is not Panama. But Azerbaijan has something many popular countries do not have: published property thresholds that can support both temporary and permanent residence. Owning real estate worth at least 100,000 Azerbaijani manat can support a temporary residence application. For permanent residence, the property threshold is higher, at around 200,000 manat. That means a $200,000 property budget can potentially sit above both levels. That is what makes Azerbaijan stand out. It is not just buy property and hope. It is a structured system with defined financial markers. Baku offers a surprisingly modern city experience: dramatic architecture, the Caspian Sea, shopping, restaurants, and a mix of European, Turkic, Persian, and post-Soviet influences. Outside the capital, the country has mountains, villages, natural beauty, and regions most outsiders barely know. But the catch is integration. Permanent residence is not just a property receipt. Presence requirements, language conditions, and proper compliance matter. Azerbaijan expects applicants to engage with the country, not just park money and disappear. That is why this route is not for everyone. It suits someone willing to take a less obvious path, learn the system, and treat the country seriously. Azerbaijan is the structured dark horse, but the number one country wins because it combines property flexibility with the shortest realistic path to permanent residence on this list. Number 1. Serbia. Serbia takes the top spot because it offers something rare: a property-based temporary residence route without a widely published minimum property value, combined with the possibility of permanent residence after 3 qualifying years. That is the headline. Not the cheapest beach house, not the fanciest lifestyle. The structure. In Serbia, owning residential property can support temporary residence. The initial permit can be granted for a meaningful period, and if someone genuinely lives in the country, follows the rules, renews properly, and respects absence limits, permanent residence may become possible after 3 consecutive qualifying years. That puts Serbia in a different category, because on this list, some routes are good for testing, some are good for lifestyle, some are good for paperwork. Serbia is good for building. Belgrade is one of the most energetic capitals in southeastern Europe. The cost of living remains lower than much of the continent. The food, cafe culture, nightlife, riverfront, and international momentum are all real. And unlike some smaller lifestyle destinations, Serbia feels like a country where someone could actually build a normal life. The catch is commitment. Permanent residence is not for someone who buys a flat, visits twice a year, and hopes the clock runs. Absence limits matter. Address registration matters. Renewals matter. Reciprocity and nationality rules can matter. The process rewards people who actually relocate, but that is why Serbia is number 1. It is not just offering a temporary foothold. It may offer a route to permanence. So here is the real takeaway. A $200,000 home can still open residency doors in 2026. But every door leads somewhere different. Montenegro gives you beauty, but the property route may not build toward permanent status. Türkiye gives you a strong lifestyle base, but only if the property and district qualify. Georgia gives you time and flexibility, but not a cheap property shortcut. North Macedonia gives eligible applicants one of the lowest European entry points. Albania gives unusual flexibility with no clear minimum property price. Azerbaijan gives a structured property ladder. And Serbia gives the strongest path to permanence. The mistake is buying the country that looks cheapest online. The smarter move is choosing the legal outcome first, then buying the property that supports it. For deeper route breakdowns, updated policy changes, and country-by-country Plan B research, Horizon Insider is linked below. So which would you choose? The cheapest entry point, the Mediterranean lifestyle, or the fastest route to permanent residence? Drop the country in the comments.